research work. In recent years, tourist tastes have been changing in an observable way. They not only want to know the experiences of other people, but are also looking for new and personal experiences. We devoted our research work to Old Cemetery in Grodno as a tourism attraction. Decades ago, the cemetery used to be closed to public and opened only to relatives of the deceased or owners of tombs to enter. Also, a large majority of those cemeteries opened for visitors in the 20th century. Even today, some of them practice total privacy in order to avoid crowds of visitors or vandalism. Many cemeteries organized all-of-kind events in order to attract visitors and to become the place of social gatherings. In the future, I would like to connect my life with traveling and journalism. Now I'm interested in tourism, and therefore I chose the theme of my research work, Old Cemetery in Grodno, as a tourism attraction. The city of Grodno is the most fascinating city in the world, and Old Cemetery in Grodno is even more fascinating and mysterious. The aim of the work is to increase interest towards Old Cemetery in Grodno as a tourism attraction. The object, to study of the cemetery's tourism. Subject, Old Cemetery in Grodno. To achieve this goal, we have set ourselves the following objectives. To study and summarize the information about Old Cemetery and Grodno, to reveal the specifics of the cemetery tourism, to reveal the concept of cemetery tourism. The first part of this work explains special interest tourism, of which cemetery tourism is a special niche. Then the cemetery tourism itself is possible classification into subgroups. As you can see, there are different types of tourism. Cemetery tourism could be divided into several most important subgroups according to the motivate of visit: ancestral, cultural, national, nature, political, and religious. The second part is a review of the most famous cemeteries, memorial parks as target of tourism interest. Among many famous cemeteries, there are still few which deserve special attention and are real tourist attraction. Pierre Lachaise in Paris, Novodevichy Cemetery in Moscow, La Recolette in Buenos Aires, Highgate Cemetery in London, St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, Hollywood Forever in Los Angeles, and Lykachov Cemetery in Lvov. Finally, we describe Old Cemetery in Grodno as a tourist attraction. In order to find out why the Old Cemetery in Grodno is unique and can be rated as a tourist attraction, we decided to compare it with famous cemeteries in the world that are declared as tourism attractions. Old Cemetery in Grodno ranked 34th of 48 things to do in Grodno. The Old City Cemetery in Grodno is the oldest burial place in the city and one of the oldest in Belarus. The history of the cemetery began around the end of the 18th century. It consists of two parts, Catholic and Orthodox. Catholic cemetery was officially opened in 1792. The exact date of origin of the burial grounds of the Orthodox part of the necropolis isn't known, but it's assumed that they appeared at the same time. One of the main features of the old Orthodox cemetery is the mysterious colored obelisks, which are located in the Orthodox part of the cemetery. There is still no consensus about who is buried under them. Both parts of the ancient Catholic and Orthodox cemetery were the burial places of the various famous people. For instance, the Orthodox graves include the grave of a general of Belarusian Hussar Regiment Rykhlitskaya, the hero of the Patriotic War of 1812. The Catholic part contained the graves of the architect of Grodno, Giuseppe Sacco, the founder of the zoo, Jan Kochanowski, famous merchant family the Muravyovs, the beloved by all Grodno citizens, Liza Azheshka. The cemetery is located on 3 hectares of land in the heart of Grodno, which is densely covered with graves, sometimes decorated with very unusual tombstones. Grodno necropolis is also interesting because there are many more architectural gems in Grodno than in the city itself. Here you can find tombstones in the style of Romanticism, Eclecticism, and Constructivism. Monuments were ordered by wealthy local citizens from the most famous European masters and masters of Grodno. Master Borislav Shishkevich, who made gravestones from sandstone. Each of them is a work of art. They are also called stone gardens. Borislav Shishkevich lived only 28 years. He knew he was going to die soon and made a monument to himself. The monument has a muse on top and marble bust and various Christian symbols. Master Joseph Zaborowski is an outstanding sculptor of Grodno. His author style is to use several fonts when sealing the tombstone. On some graves, you can count even 9 fonts. Many tombstones have a rich decoration that is replicated from monument to monument. There are symbols of the cross, heart, torches, wreath of boxwood, twisty ivy, ferns, and butterflies. Over the years, the cemetery has gained many legends and myths. The issue of including the Grodno necropolis in the Republican list of historical and cultural heritage of Belarus is currently being considered. Only 10 graves have received the status of historical and cultural heritage so far. Not all cemeteries have the same opportunity to become a tourism attraction. An important role in promotion should be TripAdvisor ranking. The high position of cemetery as places to visit in some destinations proves the significance of cemeteries as tourism attraction. Old Cemetery in Grodno ranked 34th of 48 things to do in Grodno. We found out that Old Cemetery in Grodno possesses important cultural and architectonic heritage, therefore cemetery tours should be organized on a regular basis. Further research could be aimed towards practical implementation of the cemetery concept as tourism attraction and focus on plan of a virtual excursion for our schoolmates. In the future, I would like to connect my life with traveling and journalism. In the future, it would be interesting to conduct a survey and study the opinion of tourists who visited Old Cemetery in Grodno. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.